questions for Coach Moore?
So Matt, once you get to this point, are there any tricks? Do you still have anything offensively you haven't used? Or you are what you are?
You know, we are what we are. We're constantly trying to figure out, what the defense struggles with, what we can do. By this point, we've done just about everything, but, you can always break out stuff that you did early in the year. But from a teaching standpoint, we're still just trying to harp on the fundamentals of hand placement and base, and pad level and strain and all that stuff.
Other than the lack of distance that you have, anything else in the red zone that's apparent for the problems, or is it just you can't stretch the field you have on some of your pass plays?
Yeah, that's the biggest problem in the red zone with us is we're not dominant enough running the ball. We can't knock people off the ball right now. We're not breaking tackles the way we should at running back, even though Letty had a much better day running the ball. But that's the biggest thing. When you get down there in the red zone, for a team that throws as much as we're having to right now, it's tough when you can't just line up and run power and run, knock people out of the way. We don't have the personnel to do that right now.
To fix what you need to fix, is it a matter of the guys you have now, or is there anything you can do in terms of recruiting, transfers, or stuff that can make a difference next
Oh,
year?
it's a mixture. It's a mixture. The first year at Troy, we really struggled up front. The second year, I brought in one junior college guy during the summer, and it was a mixture of having that guy, then also everybody getting better from the standpoint of the fundamentals and the things, the way we try to coach them, the things that we need to do. So it's definitely got to be a mixture. It's not you're not trying to totally revamp. Obviously losing two good players in both tackles, but at the same time, we got some good young players, and we got some really good junior college guys that we're on right now that we're trying to make sure we bring in the right people to get things. We'll have Josh healthy, and so hopefully we'll look different, but we're gonna be better disciplined. We're gonna understand more what we got to do, and it's gonna give me a full off season to really get these guys going the direction that we want to go.
Beyond the technique and things, I guess physically, this group really needs to have a great offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. Bryson Mays, John Hughes, some of those guys really need to have a great offseason from a strength standpoint, because I don't think that they, both of those guys didn't really understand where they were. Now you get out there and you go and get some of these Big 12 players that are really good, then you really understand, like, hey, I've really got to get stronger. I've really got to be more physical. So that a lot of them that have played this year understand now where we stand, and then they understand the work that's got to be done.
I guess on the flip of that too, I guess stronger kids, generally speaking, seem to be more confident too once they're.
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
That plays into that, right?
No doubt, and we've got those guys still from a as far as having the number of snaps they need to have to improve. They got some this year, but they're going to continue to improve. Committer, I'm looking forward to what he does. He has tremendously improved over last spring, just being moved over to O-line compared to where he is now. So Mike Brown's made huge improvements from where he was. So we've got some improvements occurring. Obviously they're not occurring fast as I want them to, and as fast as everybody else wants them to. But we are making strides and we are making improvements.
You mentioned Josh. What have you been able to do with him? I'm sure very limited physically, but classroom work.
Oh yeah, and he's at practice. He's at meetings. He does all those things, and he's chomping at the bit to get back. So I'm excited about getting him back, and he would have been a mainstay for us this year up front somewhere. We had him at guard, we had him at center, so he would have definitely helped us, especially a guy that has that many snaps and understands how to play the game and has that kind of strength and power. But we're looking forward to getting him back as soon as he gets well. Hopefully through spring practice. We'll get him back.
Curious, I know this has kind of been a recurring theme, and TCU is traditionally a 4-2-5.
Mm-hmm.
Are you expecting to see some head up nose maybe a little bit?
They showed it a little bit versus Oklahoma, and they showed it a little bit against Oak State, I believe it was. But they have been, probably over 90% 4 down. So, that's what I'm expecting. I'm sure they'll have some third down packages where they'll go to a head up zero. And they have two really good inside guys, really athletic, play very similar to our guys up front. They move a lot, they're really quick. So very much like Darius and Dante, the way their two inside guys play. So it's going to be a challenge.
In lay terms, just so I can understand, I've heard some people explain it that sometimes it's easier to block a head up nose, and sometimes it's easier to block guys that are in the gaps. What
it's easier to stay on a head up nose,
Okay.
but the movement part is what's very, very difficult. If they're big guys, it's trying to get some kind of movement so you have somewhere to put the ball. You know, that's kind of the hard part, especially when they play those big, heavy 4 eyes and the big nose. There's just no room in there. And you know, everything presents its own issues. You know, these 4 down guys, they move so much you can't come off the ball too hard because they're going to move around, and all of a sudden you're falling on your face. So there's a lot of teaching to be done versus this is really the first front that we played that's very similar to ours as far as the way they move. So at least we've had some experience working with that, and I feel good about us understanding a lot of the things that we're going to try to do as far as fitting on these guys. But yeah, they do move around. They're the 2 insides are really good players.
And you kind of hit a perfect storm here with the inexperience that you've got at center and all of the experienced good noses that you faced this year.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely been a growing year. It's been a learning year, and that's what I keep telling the kids, you know, that have really struggled. You know, it's tough when you go out there and you're going against a guy that's bigger and stronger than you, and you know, but that's where your technique. You know, all of a sudden, if you can use great technique and hang with these guys, and then as you get stronger, you're just going to continue to get better. That's been my experience in the past with the guys I've had, the young guys that really struggle early. You know, as they get older, as they become more mature, and they become stronger and able to handle those guys, and they keep that technique that they learned when they weren't that strong. You know, that's when you end up getting a really good player. Just like Colton Kivitz, I mean, he's a great example of a guy that was overpowered when he was younger and had to rely on great technique. Now, as he's an older player and he's stronger, he's still using that technique. And he's one of the best tackles in the league.
Hey Matt, you had to pull him on the other day inside. And
Excuse me.
he hangs out in an island all by himself. He goes out and screens stuff. Is there? I don't know if there's nothing he can't do, but like limits to what you can ask him to do or what the next level can ask him to do on the line.
As far as Colton,
Yeah, it seems like he's anything asked him to do.
excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I put a lot on him this year. You know, we pulled him a lot. This last game, he did a great job fitting up inside, a couple inside runs where he really fit well. You know, every one of these NFL guys I talk to, the biggest thing with Colton is consistency. He's consistent in everything he does, his stance, the way he works out, the way he takes care of his body. He's very consistent. He's athletic enough to do all that stuff, but he's also strong enough at the point of attack where, you know, we put the ball behind him a lot on 3rd down. We did it the other night 5 times, I think, and got them all behind him. Probably should have done it one extra time down there on the goal line, but we didn't. We were trying to get to it, but didn't get that done. But yeah, he's a guy that can really do it all. I mean, I think next level he can play guard, he can play center. So he's got a very bright future in front of him.
On that the third ball start, what was the design intended to be there? Sort of what?
On the goal line play?
Yeah.
It was really it was a signal. It was designed for the guard to move over, and then obviously we didn't get the signal in quick enough. One guard saw it, the other one didn't, and Mike had already put his hand down. Well, they told him to move. He picked his hand up, so it wasn't his fault. It was a signal issue coming in from the sideline. Didn't get the signal fast enough to have it to go guard over on it.
Do you recall the number of screens you guys ran on Saturday? Because I know that's kind of to compensate for some of the issues you had in the running game.
Well, a lot of those screens we're running the run one way and throwing the screen the other, and it's all a numbers game with the quarterback. And you know, we really fit those runs up real well. We didn't hand it off, so you know, we're fitting them up really good. Which you know, defensive coordinators are like, hey, we got to make sure we pay attention to this. And you know, we're trying to get the ball to Sam out there. We know guys that can really run, that can go the downs. But I know we probably ended up throwing 10 or 12 screens off of the run game. You know, so it's and again, it's just basically option football.
Could those be checks to runs then?
Oh yeah, it could easily. It just depends on what the you know, what they're giving us as far as numbers in the box. Also, if they're adding on to the run, we're gonna throw the screen. If they're adding on to the screen, we're gonna run the ball.
Were there instances where maybe he should have handed the ball instead of throwing the screen?
No, he made really good decisions. I think there was one where they rolled down really late, but you know, on a lot of those screens, we got we would have had at least 6 or 8 yards on the run, and then we'd made 10 on the screen. So that's just the way it's a checks and balance system there.
On these screens, because it feels like it's been a screen-heavy year, do you anticipate better receiver blocking and edge blocking once some of these freshman receivers, even Sam Ali get bigger, more experienced?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten better as the years go on. We've definitely gotten better. Michael Laughlin did a great job. I think he had one time where he didn't make his block out there on the perimeter. So it's definitely getting better as we go through the year with all these young guys trying to fit up those blocks out there. But when you can perimeter block and you can block in the box, and You can throw the ball down the field, that's when you become that offense that you want to be.
Has that helped a little bit in the development of the downfield passing game? Obviously, first of the year, that wasn't very good either. The last few games, you've been able to get some of those, but now people are having to worry, hey, is this guy gonna block me? Is he gonna break that off?
Yeah, that's definitely opened up the screen game, because people can't just, you know, and with the ability to hit some of our receivers down the field in man situations, has got people out of the man coverage. Well, that's when you can throw the screens, when they're backing up playing the deep ball. But yeah, you're exactly right. Once we got some down the field throws going, people started backing up, and we're able to get the screen game going. We're just not where we want to be right now. We're just looking for improvement. Every day we're looking for improvement. Same thing this week. We're looking for these guys to go out and practice the same way they did last week.
Matt Banks has played more. Is that out of need, or has he kind of shown you something where he can?
He's shown us some stuff where he's come along, you know, again, he's a young player also, and has struggled with some stuff early on in the season, and, you know, his reliability was an issue, but he's been doing a really good job, and was really instrumental on some third downs. Had a really good block on a 3rd and short, and he's got some talent. We just got to, you know, we got to keep believing in him and keep working him.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.